And we're getting right into it, ladies and gentlemen. We have switch servers. It's actually a 5v6 on this first bid in favor of TDI here, so we'll see if 7 Goal, you know, without their friend Loaf here, are going to do anything on this mid. Looks like Sliceworks going to jump in, but he's just going to get eaten alive. Got abandoned by his team. Did not get the memo that everybody else was leaving.
All right, that's the way to start off a best of 3.
Start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As we saw Loaf like leave the server and then join the wrong team, so we are going to see Tony B flying in from Valley, but the rest of Blue has vacated the premises here. Looks like they're just going to get a free cap of 2, and JPEG's also running the Atomizer, by the way. Interesting choice for a melee, as we see both these medics coming up on Uber very, very soon. Fancy Sun already electing to switch over to Spy. Dubthink, thank you for your service. He's gone. As we see the soldier bomb in through lower, and he's not
Loaf's going to get picked. Loaf's gonna create it. Loaf goes down. Tony
and
down
Fancy
on the other
Sun.
side.
Fancy Sun.
Oh, he goes down 3
stab.
down on the side of 7 Goal. This is terrible. TDI is gonna get into last on this. They're just gonna walk in top. Joey Lemons with the trap kill, but this gives XPS a free entry in top right. Gonna take an exchange here, getting some flashes, but looks like they're gonna opt to just leave and try and reset. Looks like they're gonna repush on the left side. 7 Goal's gonna get a couple spawners in, but they're gonna get it completely free on this left side. They've isolated Slicework and lower. He's so weak. Gonna find the pick here. Oh, they traded out for XPS though. That might just be what 7 Goal needs to stabilize here.
I almost said medics down when both of them died, but that's not the case, as we see Brada, Sparky, and Squid just chilling. Actually, I mean, Squid with a decently small disadvantage here, but I don't think that will matter in the grand scheme of things, as we see Brada, Sparky just sitting way back by pretty much the cafe pack, building with the equalizer, or sorry, the escape plan. And then on the other hand, Squid is just Bob the Builder away with his scout. No off classes to speak of on either side, and we're gonna be settling in for a little bit here.
Yeah, and it looks like Bradisparky's doing a little bit better job of building, although I don't think they know that they have an Uber ad, because like, both teams use it basically at the same time in that exchange. They have no way of knowing that Squid was alone for any extended period of time. It looks like TLR, this former Spy main, gonna try his hand at Spy this time, but it looks like they're gonna get the force in the meantime. They're actually in onto the point. They're just pressure cooking him, had everybody peeking the doorways. It looks like they're gonna lose a scout here. JPEG goes down, but the 2-man found its man on this one. Squid's gonna have to use his Uber to keep himself alive.
Yeah, and right away you see the instant response from 7 Gull. Fancy Sun switching over to Heavy. Slice Rogue peeking and prodding his way through bottom left, but in fact just thinking better of it, retreating to last through dungeon. Joey Lemons is on the loose cannon, so maybe have some double donks
did they
in
see
store.
Slice Rogue here? Slice Rogue's in through dungeon. They have no idea he's there though. It looks like he's just gonna opt to turn back around and try and go back to last, but 60%. 7 Goal, doing a pretty good job of building here. They're gonna pop in top right, our Total Drama Island. They aren't finding much with this Uber, just gonna find some positioning here. Looks like they're just gonna clear the sticky traps, get their team. Boulder's gonna jump in, land on Bradispark. He finds one good rocket, finds some damage into JPEG as well. And it's an absolute car crash of an Uber here from Total Drama Island, not finding anything.
The off classes from 7 Gull there. The Heavy got 3, the Pyro got 1, and there goes your push. Just JPEG and Bradisparky alive. They are on mid, regrouping with their respawners, as we see 7 Gull recapture second here. They got a big advantage to work into mid now.
Yeah, and a bit of a rushed Uber there. They just kind of got in top right, and it didn't really seem like they had a game plan after that. Still 40% behind is Bradisparky, so it looks like they're probably going to have to give up mid here. They're looking for a fourth. They're going to find the sticky trap and have to force out the Uber. The demo's in, going to kill XPS. Bradisparky down so weak. Tony B's going to die as well. They trade out for Slice Rogue. JPEG goes down. It looks like 3 players are going to make it out. It's going to be PKG, Riot, and Bradisparky. Bradisparky getting dangerously close to the Uber, but nobody's with him. He's actually got nobody building with him. He's a little more passive than the rest of his team. So, they could have had Uber already, and they could be trying to look for an exchange here, or not an exchange, an Uber in these chokes, but it doesn't look like they're going to find. Loaf's going to get in, Bradisparky going to find the force. Oh,
huge bomb from him. And yeah, now the rest of Blue is just, they're gone. They have fallen back to mid. They will catch XPS, perhaps being a little bit too aggressive, and PKG down to 30 health, jumps away 14 HP before getting an arrow or a pack.
Oh, and JPEG dies as well. There's no scouts here. If they just run in, knowing that there's no scouts here to clean this up, knowing that they have that advantage, they can maybe catch Bradisparky, but they instantly leave. So good play there from Total Drama Island to just cut their losses. Looks like they're going to be back on last. It wouldn't surprise me to see some off classes on the spawns. Yep. And JPEG is going to come up on Heavy to try and shore up their defenses.
Yeah, so no engineer. Gotta say, I feel like if you're in playoffs, that's the time you break out the engineer. But here comes the blue Uber through the top right. They aren't actually getting a lot of picks. In fact, they're gonna lose one of their scouts to start. They immediately do trade up with a soldier pick as well. And now the aggression on the right side, it's turned into a DM server. Players are falling left and right. Blue team does still have heals. Loaf is 10 health. He's not long for this world. It's just TLR versus 100 health Demo Man Riot. Can he hold the fort? No. He's gonna go down, and we're gonna see 7 Gull go up 1-0.
And I didn't see it happen, but I heard it. But I think Bradisparky dropped. I don't know if he got a saw or if he just died like, you know, on 99%, right as he got to 100. But it's really unfortunate as TDI is going to lose the first round here. 7 Gull taking an early lead. You know, maybe looking good for my Pred here with, you know, maybe 7 Gull taking the first map.
Yeah, as we are going to head into a second mid here, I'm going to be watching Loaf as he's jumping over to the Tetris side, now taking position over the other team's cafe before bombing
Tony B.
the Bell. Tony B with a kill on Slicer, and then JPEG follows up on Loaf, so now blue team finding themselves 2 players down, make it 3 as all their projectiles are gone in the blink of an eye. Squid trying to escape with TLR. The blue team is on the hunt, though. These Red Scouts, they are hungry. Oh my goodness, he's so low. And the sticky from Riot picks off the medic at the very end there. Really, really good chase and aggression there out of red. And that's going to be a full team wipe, essentially.
Yeah, and that gives them time to go send a scout back to mid while Squid's spawning. They have plenty of time to work with here to get mid, although it looks like they might be kind of overworking their way into last. Okay, they're going to back off. It's the right decision there. I was going to say, there's no point in popping into last and taking your Uber into last when you don't have second, because the other team can just sit and spawn and wait for your Uber to fade away. So they are going to get the cap. They do have about another 30 seconds here before Squid's going to get his Uber. I have the heavy engineer defense, so very defensive class composition coming out for 7 Gull here to try and hold on to last.
Yeah, finally we see the engineer from Fancy Sun, and then they have the heavy as well. So a lot of health on either side of the mid as we see, or on last, as the gun does go down to Riot, and he will actually pick up Joey Lemons. Dies. So now they're gonna put a ton of pressure on the cap. JPEG goes down. Is that gonna be enough though? Loaf falls as well. Squid is only 80%, so I don't know if they're gonna be able to get it. Just too many red players crash onto the point, and we're all tied up just like that.
Yeah, very quick response from Total Drama Island. You know, they took that mid really by the balls and just pushed it to last, and they corrected their mistake of last time of not getting anything done with the Uber. They instantly picked the demo, and they basically just traded frags on the point there with their superior positioning on the high ground. And, you know, now it's 1-1 game here.
PKG jumping fast over the other team's cafe side, kind of mirroring what Loaf was doing on the previous mid, although no team really engaging so far. But Squid, first casualty, XBS on the hunt. Now air shots trying to be exchanged on Bell Tower. Can red team protect Bradisparky down to 12 health? And the scout sneaks in. TLR says, I will take that, although they will lose the mid for it.
Yeah, it's really tough to win a mid when the first person dying is your medic. 7 Gull did a good job, though. I mean, there was kind of that, like, 2-3 seconds of, like, obviously, like, Squid's calling, I'm dead. And there's, like, alright, how did we get onto Bradisparky? And they figured it out eventually, but it was messy. With Bradisparky being the only person to go down on the side of TDI. They are going to have a small Uber advantage here because Squid did die first, but it's not that big, only about 20% or so. Really hard to push out a last, especially when it's even, and a winner takes it all set, so... Both these teams on their tournament line the entire time. This is only map 1, so this map won't decide anything, but after this map, things start to get real.
Alright, they got about 20% advantage here. You think they're going to go off this?
I really don't think they're going to push out a last on 20%, especially on a map like Sunshine. Like, Sunshine's a map that's already hard enough to push out a last on, just because of how separated, like, kind of all the doorways are, but it looks like they're going for it. They're gearing up in the shutter. They got Sticky there. They're going to be ready to go. Dot pushing this. It's only about 15% though. As TLR is going to die to the Stickies on the shutter. So that's not good at all. Joey Lemon's going to be bombing in. Going to find a couple Stickies on the JPEG, but JPEG a little too healthy for that one. And Bradisparky's already got his Uber, and they have no cap time. They're just going to be able to instantly push back in. Squid's going to get a Sticky on Bats. They are going to get the force out. That's a good job from Slicer to get in there. Find a good first rocket on the Bradisparky. But looks like they're just going to shove their way into last, though, knowing that they have that soldier advantage since they didn't get that cap time. They're all grouped up on the bottom right here. Are the people 7 Gull? They're going to get pressure on the point, baiting them forward here. Everybody's so weak on both teams. It's an absolute scrap fest on the point, but it looks like the defender's advantage is going to be a little too much.
Well, sometimes a DM fight breaks out, and as the dust settles here, Red down 3, Total Drama Island down 3, 7 Gull pushing their way back onto second. Looks like they're going to cap it up no problem. Loaf, the only one still waiting for his respawn to come up. Ubers are, well, again, a tiny ad for Squid again, but last time their push out wasn't very successful. They dropped a scout immediately, and then, couldn't find any other frags, but it looks like they're going to try and do it again. I like this. They're sticking to what they know. Here comes this Uber, but it's too little too late. The trade comes out. That soldier is suspended. He is going to fall to TLR Scattergun, and looks like 7 Gull's just going to reset back on second for a hot minute before they decide what to do next.
Yeah, I really like that read from XPS, knowing that the other team was going to try and push off a non-existent Uber red. He took it right in, but PKG just jumped in on top of that exchange, and obviously Bradisparky didn't get that memo, didn't flash him in, and I don't think PKG needed to be there. He was there just like 2 or 3 seconds too early, and, kind of just got shredded by the people that were all getting flashed by the Uber. They've been really good for the side of TDI, because they had them all trapped in Valley there. There was a potential for them to kind of collapse on them while they were leaving, but missed opportunities. Gone by. I have about a 10% advantage for 7 Gull because they had to flash so many times and their Uber ended so early, but I think they're just going to kind of shore up their numbers on mid, our TDI, and they're just going to hang out as we are going to see the first stalemate of this game.
And I was going to say, we're going to see how these main teams elect to break it. A lot of aggression from XBS and his soldier partner through the Valley side. That soldier is in, and he is gone. But JPEG dies to the Slice Rogue Bomb. He will die to the Stickies there, but that's a +1 for 7 Gull as we have a potential 1v1. Oh, never mind. All of a sudden, the Cavalry is here.
Oh,
they're going to kill Fancy
Sun. Fat rocket.
Yeah, he's hitting good rockets as the Uber gets traded out in Valley. Hard to tell who's coming out on top of it right now. Okay, never mind.
Spam rocket.
And look at Loaf, he's in position. Oh, he's not missing. He just hit like 4 directs there, killing the demo and the scout, and now securing his team midpoint here. I mean, Bradisparky and his scout and soldier, they just gotta run away right now. They're down 2 players here as well.
Excellent read there from Loaf, just to know that the flank was completely unwatched with the 2 frags that they had on that. Just got the spam rockets on the PKG on point, who had his escape plan out, ate like the 50 damage from all the way across mid, basically. And then was able to jump in and secure the frags on XPS and Riot. So, again, looks like even Ubers here for both teams. And JPEG's going to pull up on the heavy, making sure that defenses are a little short up. So, again, kind of going back to the stalemate. I think as this series goes on, teams are going to get more and more paranoid and kind of get more and more fearful. So,
yeah, so we have a coast-to-coast situation potentially here. If 7 Gull can clinch it out, they were pushed back to their last, and now they have reversed the field, so to speak. TLR peeking top right. He spots the Riot. He spots the red demo holding very, very aggressively, so if they're going to work a double sack anywhere, or any sack, they probably don't want to go through that door. But for now, again, both teams just feeling each other out. Slice Rogue is peeking lower. They're trading rocket spam with the other soldier. And I mean, I'm gonna keep my cam on Loaf. I'm expecting him to be one of the guys to go flying in for a force here. And here he goes, but he's already half health as he walks through the door. Fancy Sun is with him, and they actually make Red use. So very interesting here. The heavy cleans up Loaf though, so he's gonna say goodnight as we see rest of 7 Gull just retreat, losing 1 soldier. They don't want to stay in anymore. And we're gonna be back doing this song and dance for at least another minute here.
Yeah, as both teams just going to be building up their Ubers, as it looks like Total Drama Island wants to get out of last. I don't know what they're really trying to go off of, though. PKG's going to go down. They're going to sack 3 players for it. I don't like this at all. I have no idea what they were trying to push off of there. I guess maybe the pick out of the soldier, but the soldier had already long spawned by the time they actually got out of last. It's a disaster now. They are going to get the consolation prize at TLR, but they have scouts on the point. They're going to force people to try and get on the point as Joey Lemons puts Sticky's scout presence on the point. They're contesting it, but oh, they're going to get the spawns of it. No, not quite enough time as 7 Gull's going to extend their lead 2-0.
2-1. But that push from Red, very, very curious. Like Nick said, potentially trying to go off of that 1 soldier pick, but they took so long to actually commit to the push. By the time they were through lower left dungeon, they lost 3, and they just got rolled to last. Loaf is already eating early sticky damage on this next middle here. I'm keeping an eye on him as his team does the classic rotation, the ring around the rosy.
Tony B's hiding in his own team's valley.
Ooh, Tony
B's gonna peek. Oh, but they see him. He's gonna jump in though. Gonna get so much damage.
He does get the medic. Demo on demo action as Joey Lemon pipes away Riot. PKG goes down. JPEG's trying to protect his medic from this full health scout, but he cannot. And this time, it's Blue who comes out.
Slice Rogue plays Minecraft. No.
Slice Rogue, the skill stick. It's still legal, as our good old friends DJC and Bloodsire would say. And that's a pretty solid mid win here from Sevengull. These two teams have been trading these mid fights back and forth. So the second one of these teams kind of starts figuring out the other one, you know, we could see Sunshine go a certain way here. As we see the engineer from JPEG. Again, the good news, if you're the defenders on last, both medics died, so you're not staring at too big of a disad here. But, you know, TLR, Bob the Buildering away with that 3-rune blade. They're likely gonna try and put their foot on the gas pedal and just go in guns blazing once this Uber is up. They actually are working up, you know, a 30% ad now, so time is short. Looks like they're gearing up for a lower push. And here we go.
Only
the demo
about 50% now. Joey Lemons actually didn't get Ubered. He's actually going to straight out. So this is looking like a disaster of a push early here. They aren't even going to get the sentry gun. Oh, man. There was a lot of potential there for that dungeon pick because they got in pretty clean, but Joey Lemons just didn't get flash on the Uber and actually just elected to strafe out rather than actually committing to it. So now they actually have an opportunity to push out of last, and they have a real advantage to push off of. They're going to use through in the bottom left. They're going to be trying to chase some frags. They get Sliceberg here caught in the choke. They're going to be trying to chase Cafe, but looks like they're going to cut their losses here. Just reset, be happy with 2.
Yeah, we're going to see Slice Rogue had a pretty generous respawn as well, already up. So, well, never mind, because they delayed him another 5 seconds because of the decision to push out and expending their Uber in the process. Once again, Squid has a pretty sizable advantage. Where will Sevengull attack next? My guess is a Valley type push of some sort, maybe bombing the demo through Valley, but we are...
Looks like they're going Cafe. Choke, they're just going to instantly use their choke. Both these teams instantly using through the choke points. I think if one of these teams figured out how to slow push, maybe here, slow down the game a little bit, they'd be favored a little more in these leapfrog situations. But Brad Sparky actually was disconnected, so they don't actually have an opportunity to instantly repush, try and catch the players on the point. Again, I think missed opportunities here, as it looks like they're going to be trying to go Bats. They are just going to walk out Bats as soon as they get their Uber. Very passive on the side of Sevengull. PKG is going to bomb in and instantly die. Brad Sparky is going to get double soldier bombed. 2 soldiers are in. Loaf and Slice are going down. Lots of damage
what is happening?
Both sides here, but looks like they are going to collect the frags, but it looks like Sevengull wants to try and get in. And yeah, really good surf there from Bradisparky to find his way out of there. I actually think he got synced by both of the projectiles from the soldiers. I think they hit him at just enough at the same time that he actually got synced and basically just no-clipped out from Bats.
Okay. So, like you said, oh, never mind. No time to talk. This soldier is going in and he's dead. PKG gets cleaned up by TLR. They have spotted the rest of Red trying to get aggressive in the cafe, but now thinking better of it. But TLR on the other end, he's like, okay, you're giving me space. I'm just going to walk in for free. Look at how deep this man is. Finally, the Ubers get exchanged. XPS does get dropped. So it's a 6v4 situation here. Fancy Sun does go down on the other team's bats, but I don't know what Red's gonna be able to get here. Besides, yeah, they're just gonna have to set up back on last.
Yeah, PKG had just spawned by the time the Ubers got popped, so he actually really was in that fight and wasn't able to find a way in. He could kind of control the doorways on the side of Sevengull, so not really able to find their way in there and had to give up all their positioning. Fancy Sun's gonna break out the Australian long point man, so we're on the down under casting org, and we've got the man himself to represent us.
Alright, let's see. The first sniper of the night, Fancy Sun, is just gonna peek onto bats from the point. But there's nothing there for him to shoot just yet. He's gonna have to take a couple steps deeper to try and knock someone's head off of their shoulders. As the rest of the team has flooded into lobby, he's gonna go for a dungeon peek as we see Slicerogue bomb in, I think. Maybe perhaps just drawing eyes. Fancy Sun, he took some spam already. He's just gonna back off. And where all eyes are on you, Mr. Sniper Man.
And we have JPEG here to match. I actually don't know if anybody on either of these teams has any experience playing Sniper. I know TLR, as formerly Larry T, was a spy main. He used to play at UGC Platinum. As we're going to see the soldiers sack and going to trade 1-for-1. And JPEG hits a nice shot. No scouts on the side of Sevengull, along with their pocket being down. So real opportunity here. They want to try and make an opening here for their sniper, but it doesn't look like they're really opting to get aggressive in lobby. Very tentative play from side of Total Drama Island. Tony B's gonna bomb in, but making some fancy footwork out of jumping, but he's just gonna get air stalled by that shot.
Ooh.
He's gonna get air shot, you know, about 5 feet off the ground by Joey Lemons. It counts. It's an air shot.
It's gonna show up on logs.tf, my friend. Sometimes that's all
yes,
you
sir.
want. But
you know,
anyway,
you can't put that one in the frag movie. So does it really count? I don't know.
as we see the sniper from Fancy Sun put a decent chunk of damage into PKG. Now he's in a very precarious spot, desperately waiting for an arrow, and he doesn't get it before Fancy Sun just body shots him to death. Now Tony B gonna try his hand at denying the sniper. The heavy's gonna deny Slice Rogue though.
Loaf is so weak.
He managed to
XPS
slip
on heavy
out.
on point here, but Tony B is so weak, getting pushed by TLR. TLR, they're working this flank to perfection on the side of 7 goal, and they have no idea how to deal with it. Fancy Sun gets the headshot onto Riot. They need to find enough time to buy time for their spawns. They are going to get JPEG in here in a couple seconds. Loaf goes down, but they lose their only other projectile class. This is so bad. They just have hit scan. Another headshot rings out onto the heavy. This is looking like a disaster. Oh, Fancy Sun with a third. Oh, that was nasty.
Whew. And there you go. First half in the books. 7 goal up 3-1. The sniper doing work, and then the aggression, Nick, from 7 goal seems to be catching Total Drama Island a little bit unprepared. Like they lost 4 players and just left their medic to solo Uber a heavy. Not what you want to see if you're defending last here. But you know, we're in the halftime now, so it's time for these teams to make adjustments and see what they can bring out in the second half.
This is the period of time that matters the most for these teams. Particularly when you have a player like XPS on your team or Slice Rogue on the other side of things. So I'm gonna find the logs here on my other monitor because I know they're up on stream and I want to talk about them. But yeah, like I said, I think we've got some important downtime here for both these teams to kind of figure out really what's going wrong and how they can improve it. Like I said, both these teams kind of have that important player, you know, on their teams to kind of guide them. And I think one of the things that's going to be hard for XPS to tell his team, kind of talking from the loser's perspective, because I think they have more adjustments to make, is how to be more decisive. I think indecision is a big issue right now for them. They don't really seem to be going, you know, whereas like the 7 goal, like when they have an advantage, they seem to really put pedal to the metal, right? But on the other side of things, like Total Drama Island's, you know, a little hesitant to vote people off the island.
All right, I'm looking at these logs here. JPEG 18 and 10, most kills in the server. TLR right behind him. Actually, TLR stat line looking very, very nice. 17 kills, 11 assists, only 6 deaths, 232 DPM. I think that's that is the highest of all the scouts. In fact, it's the second highest in the server, only behind Riot, the demo man. So TLR putting on a show for us so far. You know, I like to look at the medic deaths.
The next the server. Yeah, I just wanted to point out, like, I think at least in my mind, not knowing a ton about this matchup, that like the on-paper matchup was going to come down to like if you have XPS on Scout, right? Does that give you a Scout advantage? And if you have Slice Rogue on Solar, does it give you a Soldier advantage? But it looks like, you know, at least from what we've seen early from these two teams, I mean, we potentially have 2 more maps to see after this one, and it's only halfway through this first one. But the Scout advantage is pretty firmly in favor of 7 goal. And it looks like the only person who's really putting up like a proper amount of resistance on the side of oh my god, Total Drama Island. I keep blanking on these team names and I have no idea why. Apologies, but is really Riot. Like he's got the most damage in the server, and he's 100 damage positive if you look at like his damage taken versus damage done. But he really seems the only person that's having like an okay game on the side of Total Drama Island, and I think JPEG has just kind of been fortunate in getting a lot of the cleanup kills and playing heavy on last, but I don't think the really high impact kills, you know? Whereas I think on the other side of things, like TLR and Fancy Sun are really like helping break the stalemates, and the kills they're getting are like shoving flanks in these like really slow situations.
Yeah, and the other thing I was going to point out, actually the mid fights were not as close as I remembered. It was actually 3-1 in favor of Total Drama Island. So, you know, 3 mid wins, and they were all pretty dominant ones if I'm remembering correctly, but only 1 round to speak of. It's kind of, I guess, highlighting their struggles with pushing last, and then, again, like you said, being kind of unprepared for the aggression out of 7 goal.
Yeah, and the first mid was kind of given to them because, I think it was Loaf,
that is true.
Like DC'd from the server, so maybe a little bit of skewing in our information. We'll kind of write that off, but I think Total Drama Island did a good job of like really seeking out Squid early on the mids, but I think they're kind of selling out a little too much for Squid. Particularly the one mid that they lost. They had I want to say JPEG, Tony B, and PKG all sell out for that medic pick. And if that's like, if you're losing mids, right? If you're not winning the mids, or if you're not like competitive in the mids, you're just getting rolled. That's a valid strategy, because you are going to lose the mid, and you'll stop the bleeding because you're picking the other team's medic, right? So you're not going to get rolled to last, right? It's a really way just like it's like a tourniquet option, right? You know, it shouldn't be your go-to, and it seems to be like what they're starting with, where they should just be trying to take the mid fights, because, you know, I mean, the first mid was a bit of a meme, so you can't really take that one. But the second mid that they had, when, you know, the medics weren't the first picks, right? They won that mid pretty convincingly. So I think if they just played a little more normally and they weren't so concerned about getting Squid, and then the other mid that they won too, where they didn't kill Squid instantly, right? They were able to chase him down and catch him on second because they did a better job of rotating on the pit. So I think TDI just needs to stop, you know, overthinking the mids, right? And just kind of play their game. I think they just, again, I think they just need to kind of play their game. I don't know if it's like nerves or something, but at least from what I've seen from this team previously, they don't really look to be showing up today.
Yeah, but the great news about these playoffs is it's a best-of-3 series. It's not just one map, so you have plenty of time to make your adjustments, make your changes, you know, I guess refocus in, and, you know, come back fighting. You know, 2 rounds. Again, if you're on the lower of the losing end right now, you're only thinking about the next 2 rounds, because you get 2 rounds back on the board, you're going to tie the game up, and, you know, you're right back into the swing of things. So we see Seven Gull already readied up. They are, you know, they're feeling good. They're ready to roll. Keep on going. Head over to Clear Cut. Meanwhile, Total Drama Island, a little bit, I guess, under some pressure right now, because I believe this was their map pick. So.
Yes, they are the higher seed, and they did opt to pick Team A in the map pick bans. So this is their map pick. So, I mean, obviously they had some reason or some semblance of confidence coming into this map. But like I said in the pregame, I don't really know why, because on paper, I think in lower divisions, particularly like main and below, this tends to be a more soldier-favored map. And you have, if you look, I mean, just going by raw experience of everybody in the server, like, on paper, Slicework is probably going to be the best soldier in the server, right? So, I don't know why you would pick a more soldier-oriented map, especially because when they did do that, when they played Gully Wash, which is arguably the best soldier map in the pool, they lost 5-1. So...
Yeah, I mean, like, you say that, but just looking at the logs, and not even that, just how they've been playing this game so far, it really hasn't been much soldier initiation or like making huge plays. It's really coming down to these Ubers and how each team has been playing off their heels. We mentioned there was a series of Ubers from both sides where they kind of just, I guess, YOLO'd in, for lack of a better word, and didn't really check. They popped right through and didn't quite get anything, and then the other team just comes right back in and wins a DM fight off of that. So you might think that if, you know, TDI gets a couple more team fight victories under their belts, they could be looking to retake control of this map so far. But as it stands, you know, Seven Gull playing very, very well right now, and that's why they're up 3-1.
Yeah, and that's why you see them ready up first. You know, if things are working for you, obviously it's like, hey, keep doing the same thing, maybe clean up like 1 or 2 things, right? Whereas if you're the team that losing, you have like a lot more kind of data to go up, you have a lot more points to go over, as we are going to be running up. As we come into the second half, who do you think the players to watch are? Who do you think the players that we need to see improvements are?
Well, I was going to say, based on the first half performance, I like to watch the standouts as they head off into the second half. So I'm going to be putting my cam on TLR, because he's been playing very, very solid scout gameplay so far on Sunshine. Here we go into the next mid. He's going to see 2 soldiers immediately jump his Tetris. Still going to try and push across. He's got his scout, he's got his heals, now directing his attention to the soldier. There goes PKG. Those Slice Rogue and Loaf both go down behind him, so... next fight wins, and TLR picks off the medic. He might kill the scout. Oh, JPEG's pistol comes in the clutch. Joey Lemons and Squid, they are out on last already, so another mid win for TDI. But this time, they lost their medic, and Squid stayed alive.
Yeah, again, I think that was like one of the points that I made was, you know, TDI needs to kind of not focus so much on killing the medic, and they did a really good job of that, but just Really good playmaking coming out of TLR. I think he surfed a sticky or a rocket into Bradisparky and killed him with 3 clean shots. Like the first was like a 20 damage chip shot, and then him with a clean 2 shot after that. So I mean, I think TDI on paper played that mid a lot better. Just, you know, TLR really just making the play at the end after his team had kind of lost. You know, it was already down 3-1. You know, it was a 5v3 at that point in the mid. So Tony B, both Cafe getting a good jump by Slicework. 2 clean directs to take him down. As it looks like Squid's not even have to pop coming in this mid. So again, another thing we talked about was these teams kind of just YOLO Ubering into the other team. Looks like Slicework has told his team, hey, we just need to stop popping through doorways. You know, the other team's a little too passive. So
I think the early kill that Slicework got on TLR certainly helped with that.
Oh, nice shot on the low. Loaf just got rolled by PKG.
And
Bradisparky is going to get his Uber, but they have no positioning here to try and fight.
Tony B hiding in forward. He's bombing the medic. He does get the force off, so nice play by him.
PKG died in the shutter, though.
Okay, so no soldiers on Total Drama Island. Are they going to try and immediately take this push? They got to be careful of back cap. They got to be careful of the wrap play, the all-out aggression onto last. But it looks like they have bought just enough time for their soldiers to respawn. And, well, Slicework tried to get on the point, got a sliver of cap time, but pays for that with his life. And looks like the rest of 7 Gull are out of there.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to see TDI try and push Adolasa, looking for the dungeon push here, so they're looking to not try and use, and it looks like they're going to get exactly that. Joey Lemons doesn't have the stickies in the right place, had some good sticky traps, but not the right ones, as they are going to pick Fancy and 2 in the flank, so really good play coming there out of XPS. You know, good play calling, got into second completely for free, and got a pick there, so it looks like they're opting to try and shove their way into mid, but it looks like 7 is about to have their Uber. They are going to be jumping into mid. They are going to have to pop here, but they're going to get their Uber just as the Uber gets popped on the other side of things. So PKG kills Loaf on the other side of things. Finding a pick in the flank, PKG is going to get flanked by Fancy, then they're not aware of the spawner coming in. Ubers are going to end it in choke, and it looks like TDI wants to get into mid, try and help their boy, but they're getting stuffed in this choke by getting crunched.
Yeah. You stay in a choke and bad things happen to you. That's one of the laws of TF2, as now the blue aggression flooding in through the choke, rotating over to the cafe side. They're going to pick off XBS, make that 3 kills for 7 Gull as they're going to cap up second. And it looks like, again, they're not going to wait. They're setting up top right. Well, actually, it looks like they actually will wait. And we're gonna have things settle down for a little bit. XPS 3 seconds until he's back up. Perhaps another off class coming into effect here. But for now, 7 Gull is in a very, very comfortable spot. You're up 3-1. You're pushing the other team's last. You're looking to, I guess, seal the deal here with this. Players coming in through lower. They are walking in very deep. They pop Uber at about the same time. But Slicework being down might give them some cause for concern for taking an extended fight.
16 HP? Oh, he's going to make it
Bradisparky. Okay, Bradisparky was dancing dangerously with some stickies. As we see TLR go down late, Tony B puts him away, and that should spell a red push, and that's exactly what's going on. PKG bombing forward, looking to push the soldiers out of the second area, and that's exactly what he has done here. ×4 on the cap. We might see another fight very shortly. These teams are not giving us much room to breathe.
Yeah, and I like it though. I you know, as much as teams like, you know, kind of have to realize that, you know, your tournament life is on the line in the best of 3. I like that the other team is like, hey, what if we just stalemated and slowed the game down? Especially TDI, knowing that they're down 2 rounds, right? The first half was 3-1. So they have to find 2 rounds. I mean, they have 25 minutes to do. There's plenty of time, but, you know, you need to take every opportunity you can get because, you know, especially with the meta game that was pioneered by 7 in TF2, you can slow the game down. You can easily burn 25 minutes off the clock if you just do not want to push on your last. Tony B finds his way into mid, finds a great rocket into Squid, not able to get a second rocket off though. Found a nice 110 damage rocket into Squid. He's also going to take some crater damage, but unfortunately not able to get a second rocket off, not able to get any extra follow-up from his team.
Yeah, so a good milk from the blue medic. TLR goes in.
TLR dies in the flank. Good rocket from PKG.
I would assume that was just a counter sack because, you know, each team traded a soldier out, and now Tony B looking for another buff perhaps and go for a round 2. And never mind.
Oh, he's going for it. He's in.
He's gonna like to try and shoot the soldier instead. got the Slice Rogue down to 15 health, couldn't quite get the job done. Looking like me when I play Soldier and Pugs, but here goes Loaf with his attempt. Never mind, he beefs his jump. He's actually looking like me, and he hits his head on the wall. He's gonna go in anyway, and he's gone. Ladies and gentlemen, you hate to see it if you're a Soldier
2020.
player. That was something. As we, well, I mean, Tony B for a third time? Third time's the charm, question mark? He's looking for 300 this time, so that's already a,
yeah, but
I guess a better step.
Loaf is going to spawn by the time he goes, so I don't even know if, I think it's a missed opportunity there. For all the new rumors that are out there, you have much better success rates, statistically, if you just go instantly rather than rotating for your medic for a buff. If you just instantly jump into the other team, they're not going to be as ready to be set up to deny you for as a counter sack, right? Because they're too busy trying to make sure that their sack can get in, right? They're probably going to be trying to spam, poke, and prod in the flanks, make sure that you're trying to waste ammo so you don't airshot them, whatever, right? So on paper, you're just much better going, right? Even if you are 150 HP, right? If you just go instantly, you're going to have a much better time.
Sorry to interrupt you. Here goes Loaf. He flies in. He gets a good first rocket. Unfortunately, Sparky just surfs that away. And now it's Tony B's turn. He's going to try that Valley push. He is in, although he's wasted a lot of his rockets and couldn't quite connect. Did get 80 damage into Squid, or maybe that was just some team support. But at the end of the day, the Soldier special. Both roamers go in and they die.
So yeah, we are going to see Slice Rogue take his turn at yeeting himself in from the choke point. Looks like he finds a 50 damage rocket into Sparky. Sparky with great surfs. Every single time he's been sacked on, he's hit just an awesome surf and put a lot of distance between him and the Soldier on him. So great movement from Sparky, making it very, very hard for the Soldiers of 7 Gold to try and make anything happen.
Tony B's collecting his buff. What do you think he's going to do here, Nick?
I mean, Slicer spawns in 1 second, so hopefully nothing.
Ooh, okay,
otherwise you give him an advantage. But Slicer's going to pick up the Australian long shoot man. He's going to take a turn.
Alright, Slice Rogue saw some of the headshots that his sniper partner and then the other team sniper were getting, and he said, I want some of that. He's going to look to take his first shot through Valley, potentially trying to catch a Soldier hiding up top, unaware. Unfortunately, there's nothing there for him to see, so he's gonna take his time. There goes. He puts Tony B into the dirt, and now he's going to keep going aggressively through Valley. I like this, as long as he has team support here. The roller spam trying to deny him from pushing. Oh, but he just gets deleted.
Yeah. XPS with a clean 2 shots. Slicer was actually getting tanked there, so hits him for more than 185 damage with 2 shots there, while basically just shoulder jiggle peeking him. Great 2 shots there from XPS to take down Slicer and even up the player situation here. As Tony B's going to make his way back in a second. Looks like they're just pressuring in the cafe side of things, but again, as the time ticks down, the more this favors 7 Gold, and Slicer spawns on a sniper again, so I think that kind of goes back to the 3-1 half is coming back to bite TDI in the butt here. Knowing that, you know, they need to be the ones to make something happen, and they don't have mid, so they don't have that point to give up.
Yeah, at the same time, though, I feel like TDI are content with, like, taking these, I guess if you want to call them slow fights, because they're not losing anything either. You know, they're not gaining anything, but they're not losing anything. So right now, as long as they don't get their medic's head ripped off, as PKG just cleans up Slice Rogue once again, but Fancy Sun going down, so this is a little bit interesting here. A 5v4 situation for TDI. JPEG is pushing through Valley with the atomizer. Here comes the Uber. Squid counter pops. And, well, it doesn't really look like one team is getting the better end of the Ubers right now.
Oh,
as Tony B goes down. And now XBS flooding in through choke. It looks like Blue have set up a more passive positioning here, except for the Scout, who was just causing all sorts of havoc. Loaf bombs into the choke. Slice Rogue. He gets the Soldier kill, and now Red is on their heels, running back to last here. JPEG and Riot needing to reconnect with their medic in a hurry. TLR is just continuing to hunt. JPEG picks up his 4th kill onto Slice Rogue there, perhaps taking advantage of the chaos and trying to get a sneaky sack in. Unfortunately for him, no net gain, as we see. Well, look at this. TDI already pushing through bottom left, and they're back out.
Yeah. I think it's hard to push out a Sunshine Less, like I said, because of how separated like all the doorways are. It's hard to clear them all at the same time. And 2 doesn't cap very quickly either. It takes a long time to cap. And it's very difficult to leave your Soldier on last because of how the lobby's designed. It's very awkward to, like, you can't quickly rocket jump through. It's not like Process where you have that, like, quick access route to just, oh, I can pogo through rollout and be on second, 1 second, right? You know, it takes 2 or 3 seconds for your soldier to get out
XBS,
there.
XBS on Spy, Nick. XBS on Spy, sneaking in through the lower. I don't think he has been spotted, so all eyes are on him, although it looks like Squid has his head on a swivel. And he spots out the sniper, so he knows about Slice Rogue existing. He's going to be decloaking any second now. Oh, this could be a really good opportunity.
The shutter.
And the medic...
He's getting healed!
He beefs it. He does get the force with the L'Étranger, and now the sniper still has no idea he's there. He might get the kill on Slice Rogue, and he does. And then the heavy gets 2 as well during that uber absolute chaos, as Squid and Joey Lemons are the only survivors after that debacle, and they're gonna have to run away because these TDI players are coming in to recap second ASAP.
Yeah, and they popped their Uber there on the side of 7 Goal, and they were actually able to pick the flank on the other side of things, on the side of TDI, but the better Uber on last, they just overstayed their welcome, and they got absolutely shredded by the Invincible Heavy on point. So it looks like they're going to try and shove their way into mid, but after finding some spam rockets down the side, tell them to go away. Looks like they're going to be content with holding on a second here, with just a small Uber disadvantage.
Yeah, and, you know, the time continues to trickle away here for 7 Goal's favor, but again, they're not gaining a significant foothold in this match outside of the score line. So if TDI, you know, get a good conversion or 2, you know, push them back to last, they're going to be in a pretty comfortable spot. You know, 18 minutes is a lot more time than you might think, but as it stands, we have this stalemate here. We've seen this a couple times tonight. Let's see what Loaf and Tony B have in store for us here.
I think we're going to see the Roamer specials. It looks like we have a pod.
Oh joy!
Boy. You know, starting 45 minutes late, and we got a pause to boot. Let's go, Terry.
All right. Let's
Oh, Mike, isn't it like
some,
3 o'clock for you, or like 2 o'clock? I was gonna say it's not that late for you. It's like almost midnight for Terry and I.
Let's go. Double cast? Question mark? Alright. Oh, beast. Alright. What do we think happened here? Do we think it's a technical issue?
I think XPS's internet died. I'm gonna keep it real with you. He's been having internet issues all season, and they were talking about it quite a bit in the chat. So I think XPS's internet died. I'm gonna keep it real, Chief.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see the cordial messages that will be exchanged when that situation goes down, if it does in fact follow the way that you have described. Scumbag Steve 663 saying, "Don't do school, stay in drugs." I cannot condone or approve of that statement, I feel like. But
I cannot condone one of those two things, and that's school. You know, don't put yourself into a lifetime of debt, kids. It could be bad. And if you do go to school, make sure you get like a useful degree. Don't be like me. Don't get a social sciences degree. It's fucking useless.
Well, to be in the life of a paused playoffs best of 3 here in map number 1, as my HUD is doing a really funny thing with the buffed players' health on the side. It's just doing like a little wave.
Dude, same.
But
what HUD do you use, Terry?
I couldn't. Oh, wait, I'm on Bud HUD. Because I have Jackie Chan show up on my screen whenever I F4. It's very
beast.
Very surprising.
Dude, my HUD doesn't have Jackie Chan. What the heck?
So, I mean, yeah. We are in the 3-2 stalemate. Oh, and we're back.
Are on
so, thankfully, that wasn't too long at all. I'm okay with it. As we see Loaf peeking through. He's double bombed in deep.
Oh, there he is.
And he's whiffed his first rocket. Oh my goodness. Oh, Brad, a Sparky with a nice little pop-up surf at the very end there. No fear and full trust in his team. My HUD's going to be a little bit broken as we see the red Uber come out through Cafe. They do kill Slice Rogue, so, I mean, that's good for them. Unfortunately, Squid milked very, very expertly as TLR picks off PKG as well with the help of Fancy Sun. So I think the body count is like 5-4 now. I'm gonna do a
but this time they're getting in the choke for free, but they're overstaying their welcome in the choke. They did the cardinal sin, like you said. They overstayed their welcome in the choke, and Fancy Sun and TLR just ate them alive. Brad Sparky, 20 HP, gonna get the health back. Be trying to run with XPS and Tony B to try and make it out, but it doesn't look like they're going to make it out as a collective. Brad Sparky trying to get his way out from dungeon. Looks like he's going to make it out to last alone. Oh, the scout's in though. TLR again. Clean 3 shots. And he 2 shots PKG as well. Oh,
This guy
TLR's
is
on a
not
rampage.
missing. And now he's just putting cap time, although he was waiting for second to get finished. Now he wants the heavy. Fancy Son's going to sneak that one from him, but it looks like he's going to pick up Riot. That's a 5k for TLR. He's going to put the finishing touches on this round. Oh, I thought he almost two-shot that scout, but 4-1. And 7 Gull are looking to run away with this very first map here.
So yeah, we are going to be going into our 6th mid here, potentially our last if Total Drama Island doesn't figure out the drama here and figure out their what's going wrong. I mean, they've been doing good on the mid. The mids have been historically very good for them, but you know, they got to figure out the rest of the map. Loaf's gonna bomb it early, find some okay damage into Riot, but Riot's gonna get arrowed up here from his medic. Oh, down so weak, gonna die anyway. They're gonna be trying to trade out frags on the other side of things. Brad is Sparky down. They need to find a pick on a Squid, but Squid is so passive in their team's choke. It's just gonna be PKG. He's gonna go down.
Is not looking good for Total Drama Island on Sunshine, I tell you what, as Squid is coming up on... Actually, they won that mid so fast. Slashy was playing so passive. He's only at 70% Uber, so they're still going to have to wait for second and this Uber to come up before they can potentially seal map number 1 here. JPEG on the Engineer. There was a heavy for a brief second, but he is swapped off, so now I'm going to find the TLR cam, because I feel like he and Joey Lemons are about to take this Uber and hope to win map number 1, but not before this red defense has anything to say about it. JPEG building up that 7th player, just getting it to level 2 now, so a little bit of an awkward timing because the gun was building, and yeah, Joey Lemon's going to instantly clean that up. XBS trying to take a fight into flank, but his team is down 2 players, and now the bodies are all falling, and just like that, 7 Gull walk away from Sunshine with a 5-1 victory.
Yeah, and so again, we kind of see the historic resemblance of their play on Gully Wash rear its head. Again, another 5-1 scoreline for these two teams to meet. Although we're guaranteed to get a different scoreline on the next map, because it is King of the Hill, and you cannot get 5 rounds on that map, so...
Alrighty, well, I mean, that Sunshine, there was no shortage of action, and now we're going to be heading over to Clear Cut, which is King of the Hill, so might be in for more or less the same. So we'll see once this STV delay and yada yada yada, changing the maps, there we go. I feel like I don't know the answer to that question.
You may need to combine them. Yes, you want to just throw up the second half stats, because they're pretty spicy looking at them right now. So yeah, I think we're gonna throw it to a quick break here between maps. So see you all on the other side of our break, and we'll return with map 2 of TDI versus 7 Gull, and we'll be back on Clear Cut. issues here. So we are back with map number 2. We are here on Koth Clear Cut. And this is actually a map I've only played twice, so I actually have very little experience on this map, so I have not a lot of opinions. But as somebody who more actively plays the game than I do, Terry, do you have any opinions on the Clear Cut map?
Ooh, me? I don't even have this game installed. I don't know what you're talking about. But, I mean, as we see the config being fixed, MP time limit 0, win round 2 because halves in RGL Koth go to 2, which is, it makes for interesting scenarios. I mean, I like Clear Cut. Okay, let me rephrase. I liked Clear Cut after they fixed all the horrible frame FPS issues that plagued this for the last 3.5 seasons. I guess last season was okay, but you know, it's a much more wide King of the Hill map, just horizontally speaking, I guess. So the shacks play a huge role whenever teams are controlling these points. So it gives the soldiers actually a little bit more breathing room where they aren't just being chased to death by the scouts playground like they would on a viaduct. And the fact that like spawn to mid is so much longer, it's really going to punish the teams that make the mistake of like capping while they have players still in the respawn queue. And then of course, anyone that has played Clear Cut for a decent chunk of time knows all about the legendary shack hold. You park your medic right in the middle, you park soldiers on each side of him, your demo traps off whatever he so chooses, and when you have Uber advantage, it's very, very tough for the opposing team to try and break that. Because they're going to try and sell out for a 4-man, but it's like, well, you got projectiles sandwiching your medic, covering him on either side, you have sticky traps, you have scouts that already help deny the air, and it's very, very difficult. I have seen other lower level teams break out some janky stuff like heavy, both offensively and defensively, which is very, very pog. If you like the heavy weapons class, he can just waddle his 450 HP butt right up onto the point, and then he kind of like forces the issue, because if you're trying to do a shack hold, then all of a sudden your team calls, guys, there's a heavy on the point. You know, you either let that man set up shop and just sit there and assert his dominance over you, or you have to take an Uber trade into them, which is probably not what you want when your goal was to milk time and Uber off the clock. So right now we got 10 in the server, XBS is in spec, and we are just missing someone on 7 Gull.
It's Squid that we are missing on 7 Goal, who is just joined the game.
There he is. So, I mean, King of the Hill, it's all about discipline, as any King of the Hill map is. You know, when you have the point, you're trying not to feed, because no matter how juicy that medic frag looks or how epic their bomb could be, it's not going to be worth it if you die and then you cost your team a player disadvantage while the other team gets their guy up in the next 5 seconds. So we see both teams fully rostered up and ready to go. People are already making the predictions in the chat. Cadet saying 7 Goal wins this 4-1, and that would just close out the night. I mean, based on what we saw in Sunshine, it just seemed like 7 Goal are playing more together and also more aggressively, which have been catching TDI a little bit off balance. So they're going to need some really, really good holds here on King of the Hill Clear Cut to, I guess, you know, claw their way back in this best of 3 and force process to be map 3. Otherwise, their playoff run is just going to be over just like that. I mean, I didn't really check what the medic deaths were on the final Sunshine logs. It seemed like both the medics had played a very fundamentally sound game, so looking for more or less the same. I would say, based on what we saw, TLR, we're going to have to keep an eye on that guy, because he was picking up frags left and right. He was protecting his medic from bombers, and King of the Hill is all about protecting your medic from bombers. We'll see.
More than that, though, I think TLR was kind of just running at people and kind of doing whatever he wanted. I think you know, of all the scouts that are in the server, he definitely on the eye test had the best DM and was kind of just running at people. So we'll have to see if they're able to contain TLR, because Koth is historically a game type where your scouts can kind of run free, and the best scout in the server kind of gets to do whatever they want. So if XBS and JPEG aren't able to put TLR in a box, that's going to be really difficult for them. But one thing that I will say, though, is that Riot, I think, was doing more in the eye test than Joey Lemons, and, you know, that shows at least in the first half logs. So it'll be interesting to see, because your demo damage is also very important for your scouts. So, because your soldiers are a little more independent on maps like this, you know, they're kind of making space, they're kind of playing their own game. in terms of like what they're fragging. But your demo and your scout should be playing as one unit, and if Riot's able to do more damage, that can kind of help equalize the scout disadvantage, that we were kind of seeing in the first map.
Yep. And again, the beauty of a best of three, Nick, all you need to do is, I mean, all you need to do, I say that lightly, but like, you win this map and you're right back to square one. It's all even Stevens, 1-to-1 per maps for each side here. So XBS, no doubt, giving his team a final, pep talk as they're getting ready to head into clear cut here. I would also say the mids are going to be a pretty contested factor in this matchup. It seemed like, on Sunshine at the very least, Total Drama Island kind of ran away with mids, and they just couldn't clean up elsewhere in the transition fights, and that sort of ilk. So if they can get dominant mids on clear cut, that can lead to very, very long run off of time. And as we all know, all you're playing for on KOF is the time. It doesn't matter about your frags, it doesn't matter about your damage. It just matters who has the cap point last.
Yeah, and, I was gonna say, there's a very historic game I like to reference where team play is much more important than your individual mechanics, and decision making matters a lot more in KOF, despite the fact that people kind of say it's a DM playground, because DM can kind of help impact the decisions you can make. There's a very historic match where I don't even know what their team name was, but it was like a bot mode Slemnish, who was like one of the former Ascent teams. I think they went by Swift that season, beat Furyo Black the second time that there was a Furyo Tech Black. That had Corsa and Yomps. Corsa dropped, I think, 70 frags, and Yomps like 60. And the frags, the damage, everything was in favor of Furyo Black, but the team play was just there for Swift. And I always like whenever people are like, well, KOF's just all DM, right? It's, I kind of point to that match and be like, it's really not. It's actually kind of the opposite, So.
Yeah, I mean, again, your stats can look like whatever, and at the end of the day, if you got triple zeros in the clock, you're going to walk away with a round win. So, looks like they're talking about the config. So hopefully that gets resolved rather quickly. But I mean, we're just gonna get ready for some clear-cut action. The soldiers are gonna be high flying. There's lots of tall towers for them to do double bombs off of. So all eyes are gonna be on Tony B, PKG, Slice Rogue, and Loaf. We'll see what they can do. Again, the more horizontally stretched nature of the middle point, or the only point, means that soldiers have a little bit more freedom, and they won't just get anti-aired out of the sky by two scatter guns. As we see a team not ready up, or unready, excuse me. Still discussing the config.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, hold on, somebody get Mac on the phone.
I think he had them somewhere. I think he actually posted in my Discord once when I asked for the golden cap config. But like we've talked about again, it's going to come down to the scouts, it's going to come down to the demos. They are going to set the pace, set the tone of King of the Hill, as they often do. And, I mean, on one side, 7 goal side, you got TLR leading the way. And then for Total Drama Island, Riot was doing a lot of damage, at the very least, in the first half of Sunshine. So, a demo advantage versus scout advantage. We're going to see which one of these can come out on top once Clear Cut gets underway. But I'm going to use this opportunity. Yeah, I'm going to use this opportunity to refill my drink. So I will be right back.
Rookie mistake. Not doing it during the break we already had. Shaking my head, Terry. That's alright. I can just burn time. Pretty good at the whole talking. So yeah. I think we're going to throw it to a break while the teams figure out server configs, actually. Because, yeah, they're talking about it in chat. I don't think anybody knows what really is going on, so... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back from our break, and we have some interesting roster developments on the side of Total Drama Island. We are going to be having Scream or Drums subbing in for Tony B. I'm not sure exactly why. No reason was given to me, but I am currently trying to get that information from the team of why we have the roster change, but we still have not figured out the server config, to my knowledge. So,
a new wrinkle has been cited with the roster transaction, or I guess it's not a transaction since he was already rostered. The player swap on Total Drama Island. Scream and aka Drums is in. Tony B is out. Again, we're trying to figure out the details of this development for you guys, but as it stands, it's going to be a soldier switch for TDI. I'm not gonna guess what's going on, but it sounds a little bit like a desperation move when you see that TDI's kind of their backs are up against the wall right now, facing elimination here. They lose here and they're going home. Jets saying, "Put me in, coach." I don't know if Dubthink or Maka will allow that, but that's just my hunch.
Yeah, first seeded team in Div 1. I think you're good to play main. It's fine. But yeah, about to put on my killer exclusive here, trying to get that extra, trying to find the juice of what's going on, trying to figure out the things. So, it looks like we have the teams are kind of toying with the ready up. I don't know what really is going on. I don't know if we've even figured out the server config situation yet either. So.
Fantastic. Well, PKG has readied up
TDI
Total Drama Island. So, I mean, we might just be going live shortly. We're gonna see what Scream can bring to the table. You know, I know him as a scout main. I'm sure most people do. So we'll see if he can flex his soldier might for us.
His soldier is pretty clean, though. Let's be honest. Like, he's Tempest Jumper, like our good friend Soapy S Meister in Invite. Not quite to the same degree, but he's got really good jumps, and he's just got really good raw aim. In the same season that I got to play with our good friend TLR, formerly Larry T, I also got to experience the Scream Roamer for about 3/4 of that season, which was pretty epic. We coined the term Scream Feed. He's a bit of a feeder, and his day has gone by, but I think he's improved his soldier gameplays in the last 3 years and it's kind of got a little reins on the out-of-control rocket jumping. And I actually think this will be a big upgrade. I think Tony B was struggling a lot in the first map. And I think Scream is going to be an upgrade. I think it'd be hard to argue otherwise. I mean, Scream's got a lot of experience playing the game compared to Tony B, so...
Yeah, and he did tell me that he had been routinely subbing Soldier for Total Drama Island throughout the course of the season, so he's by no means rusty or an unfamiliar face. They have played with him plenty of times, so now his Soldier is going to be on full display for the world to see, for our wonderful audience of about 65 viewers, as soon as Slice Road comes back and Seven Gull readies up with map number 2 here between Total Drama Island and Seven Gull. The number 3 seed versus the number 6 seed.
Yep. And I think to kind of talk about, because I do have a lot of experience playing with Scream. I've played many, many seasons with him. I think that's 5 or 6. Too many years of my life that I played with Scream is the short answer. But I think Scream's a really good person to kind of bring in a situation like this, because Scream's one of those people. I mean, he used to kind of care a little too much about the game, but I think he's one of those people that is a very good emotional leader for a team. He'll kind of bring it in, and he's one of those people that's you can't take the game too seriously. He's going to take it very lightheartedly, as he has left the server. He's out.
And his comedic timing continues to be at the top
Rage
level
quit.
Because he's out of there, ladies and gentlemen. We're hoping that's just a quick restart or something, and he will be right back, and we can get going, get underway with map number 2. I'm gonna go take a peek at Obese Whales versus Perutech and see what's going on over there while we're still waiting for these guys to ready up.
Yeah, and I also want to point out that the can't see it in game because he's not in the server, but the unusual that Scream wears is actually named XPS Noises. So little
appropriate
throwback there to days gone by, as Scream's going to be rejoining the server. And we are still waiting for Slicer to come back, it looks like. He is AFK in a corner of the map.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just gotta wait a long time for the game to get going. But once
Dude,
it does,
sometimes an hour and a half after your BO3 was supposed to start, you haven't even started map 2 yet.
oh
Let's
my
go.
lord!
Beast, honestly.
All right, so I mean, assuming that they're gonna get going real shortly here, predictions as far as this map is concerned. I just, again, based on me having played this map more, I feel like TLR is just gonna put on a clinic for us to witness, unless everybody on Total Drama Island steps up in a huge way. I can see 7-goal winning clear cut and winning the set by the series by a score of like I'll say 4-2. Now that I've gotten my feet wet with these two teams and how they've been playing, I'll say 4-2 here for 7-goal, and they're gonna walk away with a ticket to the Final Four in main playoffs.
So yeah, I think the addition of Scream, though, like, I would agree with you, like, at least from what I saw in the last map, and, kind of having casted a lot of TF2 in my day, and having played in the main level a lot in RGL Season 1, kind of knowing, roughly, like, how the teams kind of match up in the skill level, right? I wanted to say that this was going to be easy for 7-goal. I think they were going to take it 4-1 or 4-2. But I think I actually have to kind of change my answer, because I think the difference between Scream and Tony B, at least based on like the numbers that I've seen Scream put up when playing against main teams, I think he's gonna check the scouts a lot more on 7-goal. Like, I think just Scream, like I said, I've kind of memed him up as like, yeah, he's just gonna run in and feed, but he's got great aim. So I think he's gonna kind of check them where Tony B was struggling. And one of the things to look at, I mean, I don't know if we looked at the logs from the second half of Sunshine, but Tony B in like 18 minutes only did like 95 DPM. So like, not to say that Tony's bad, like obviously he's getting focused on a lot. It is a roamer, so your stats don't really matter, but I think you're gonna get more of an impact from Scream. So yeah, I want to say it's gonna be different now. And I want to say it's going to go 4-3 to TDI.
Okay, so Nick believes we will see a third map. I predict that 7-goal will walk away with the dub here. Well, we'll see if the scream factor, the drums factor, is going to come into effect, as Riot is going to immediately bonk his little head on the rollout, so a little slower than usual. But yeah, it looks like Joey Lemons has actually beat him by a considerable amount. No extra damage as a result of that early speed, though, although Slicer kind of gets stuffed by the demo stickies, and then the soldier bombs him as well. Slicer eats a long-range roller, it looks like, to go down, as one soldier down on each side, but blue team with the more aggressive positioning. No soldiers in the server, they're all dead. Classic King of the Hill type stuff here, as we see Riot pick off Fancy Sun, perhaps a little bit too aggressive, and now with +1, 7-goal are just gonna have to retreat. Oh, the damage is there, but no frags. JPEG, they are gonna elect to play it safe and fall back to the point. Not sure if I can agree with that, but it looks like they're gonna walk right back in. They don't deny the cap, so what's this Uber gonna do? Oh, actually, Brad is sparking with a very, very early Uber. Squid milking it down to 30 HP, beautifully done by him. Leashes his demo and his scout onto the point.
Oh,
gotta be careful of the stickies. Brad of Sparky goes down to Joey Lemons. And the soldiers from
Squid's the next one to knock.
TDI.
Scream on the flank. After a very long mid, it's instantly going to take a team fight here, but this favors TDI getting all this early cap time. It's Scrappy on the point. Again, this does favor the offensive team because they have short spawns, but JPEG and XPS pull it out. It's just Joey Lemons versus XPS. XPS has 65 HP. He can eat a certain couple number stickies, but he can't eat a pipe. He's going to get jumped by the soldiers. He's going to opt to give this up, but a great 40 seconds burned off the clock. They barely snuck out that cap, and those 40 seconds, every second matters in cost. So,
I don't know if you saw what JPEG did to that scout. What's
it
up?
was filthy.
Time to cast my own team.
Oh, hello, Tony B. We are here now in this, I guess a stalemate, a lull in the action, of course, as we see 7-goal start to put some cap time up, playing a little bit of a catch-up here against TDI, but Riot and his soldiers, they are walking in through the right lane. They are looking for an avenue to push. And, well, Slicer was going to start things off by killing XBS, so that's a scout down to help deny these soldiers. Although, actually, JPEG and Scream are going to convert with 2 picks of their own. Now Scream is in deep behind enemy lines. He's going to gobble up some health packs here, and now flank the long way around. No, elected to go through house. Actually, the scout has spotted him. And now, well, the aggression from Seven Gull once again just coming out on top.
Oh, the
Sparky drops to Joey Lemons. So, I mean, we were talking up Riot before this game started, but Joey Lemons says, hey, hold on, guys. I can hit some pipes, I can hit some stickies, and getting the UCD there, that's going to be huge as we see Seven Gull with a pretty dominating, I guess, fight onto the point there.
Yeah, he might be Joey Lemons, he might be the lemon in this scenario, but he's definitely not the one getting juice. Absolutely running Bradisparky's pockets there. Hit him with the sticky pipe combo, just taking that Uber away. That looked like a really good situation, but... And again, what looked like a great start for Total Drama Island has turned into a bit of a bloodbath here on the point, with them just not finding any success. Almost 2 minutes burned off the clock. Scream's gonna jump in, find a bunch of damage on the soldier on the roof. That's gonna be low. Gonna find a pick on the Slice Rig as well. Scream's gonna make it out, doing a great job there, throwing his health around, making space for his team. And TDI is actually gonna get this cap early. Scream's gonna get arrowed up. Loaf's gonna die. Riot's gonna die. PKG down. Looks like they're gonna trade out here. 90% on Bradisparky. See if they can get this Uber. TLR's in.
Oh my goodness, that
Joey
was so
Lemons, though.
close.
Joey
Joey Lemons, he's just not missing, Nick. As Bradisparky manages to stave off, he stared death in the face and he said, not today. He retreated back to the respawn. He has full Uber now to work off of, so not the worst Uber out of Seven Gull, but, you know, with Bradisparky having stayed alive outside of a disaster, you know, trap or sink, it looks like they're actually going to use through house here. The demo is in. Riot gets air shot.
Crazy air shot.
Who hit that? Was that a soldier?
Beautiful. That was Loaf.
Oh my goodness.
He was just
so
sitting on the roof and just spammed a rocket up. He like straight pre-fired that. Like as soon as he saw the demo put the sticky down, he just put a rocket in the air and just hit him with in the fucking shins with it. That was crazy. So we are going to see TDI though just kind of walk in and cap with this Uber. 7 Goal going to be very quick to give it up, but they're at 90% of their own Uber. Doesn't look like they're pressured at all to have to pop this one. Squid's going down so weak. PKG finds much damage. Slice is going to die on the other side of things, and Scream's going to get in and confirm the 4th. Great play there from the soldiers, but it looks like they're going to have to give up this point. Really long hold there for 7 Goal, but it looks like it's traded hands here in the last like minute or so 3 times, which is uncommon in KOF terms. Maybe trying to make it a 4th here before the round ends.
Dude, he was in that soldier's model at 99% and like milliseconds, frames perfect, grabs the right click, got the Uber to save his life. I heard a heavy. There is a heavy. It's the Brass Beast himself. Slice Rogue on the Brass Beast. Kind of doing absolutely nothing and just dies to the XBS Uber. So XBS says, you're going to play the immobile heavy class in my Uber? Alright, free pick for me. So 3 seconds left on 7 Gull's side, but, you know, Red retaking the point, a little bit actually very aggressive bomb from PKG, manages to slither away. No, the long-range rocket from Loaf is just going to pick him up. Riot does kill Fancy Sun with a sticky trap, presumably, but now the TLR Uber, he's ready to go. He's ready to cross the point. And actually, Scream with a nice bomb, he gets the force off, and he only dies just now. Looks like Blue is going to retake, but Red have to get back in because only 3 seconds left. They're walking in, they're eating a ton of spam from Joey Lemons. XBS dies. And
they don't get on the point!
That's just going to be the round. Wow. Alrighty, 1-0 for 7 Gull. Who do you want to watch on this next mid?
That was a very good first round there for 7 Goal, but I think TDI, if they're able to kind of capitalize on holding the point a little bit better, they had a great start, so see if they can clean it up here in the second round. We are going to be going into our next mid to see if they can find the same success they had last time. Joey Lemon's aggressive here on the point, trading stands with Riot, as looks like it's going to be the red team getting a little more aggressive, but Slicer's going to jump in, find some damage on the PKG. Slicer's in the other team's trench, going to jump. Oh, Joey Lemons again! Joey Lemons.
Is not missing.
Dude, he's just giving him the
He came
juice,
to play. He came to play on King of the Hill. That's going to be 3 players down. All the projectiles on TDI dead, and Scream with the crater as well. And I mean, kind of script is flipped in terms of the mid fights, Nick. Now 7Gull are the one that get the aggressive early foothold on clear cut, as we see the red Uber walking in through house. Oh, it's a little spooky. There goes the Uber, but again, Squid is milking away. He has only taken 50 damage, and look at this, no pop coming out of him.
He has
He's
not
saying,
even had to use...
I trust my team. We're gonna get a kill, and you know what that means. We could be setting up for a shack hold here now, because, well, actually,
but
never
Scream
mind.
in so deep. So good from Scream there.
Salvaging the situation with a nice bomb into the shack. He had the information, got the rockets off, got the force off. Slicer is gonna die a little bit overextended, or just a little too deep into enemy territory here. But again, I mean, it's gonna signal the red push. They're trying to walk forward. They'll wear the Joey Lemon traps. You gotta be looking out for those. As we see Loaf deny that scout from the right side before having to fall back, get some health packs, get an arrow from his medic. Great weapon, by the way. As well, ×4 on the point. XPS goes down. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt their cause here, but the frags are just continuing to be traded out. And at the end of the day, it looks like TDI might settle down here. No, Bradisparky's going to use his Uber. Squid is actually only at 94, so still has to, you know, get the final little percentage here, and he's tucked away in the yard area. He's got all of his players with him, and I mean, 7Gull are not going to give up this point for long here.
Yeah, again, Squid makes it out there, does not die. See if they can get a force here on a Squid. Last time they were able to get recap the point by the time they had to use. They are going to get the force out this time. I think that was Scream once again. Yeah, Scream once again gets in there, draws some players back too, delays the cap a little bit more, so that's good from him. And Loaf's going to go down to JPEG, so repush opportunity early, as Scream's going to get in much earlier than Loaf. They're able to take this 5v6 on the point, maybe leverage that spam advantage here. PKG is going to be landing on Slicer's head. Slicer down so weak, going to surf back up, but going to get taken down 2v1'd by XBS and PKG. 2 soldier advantage here now, and an Uber to boot. Should be an easy retake here for TDI.
Yeah, and I was going to say, as long as these leapfrogs keep coming out, you know, that's always going to favor the team with the time advantage. So right now, it's still looking pretty good for 7Gull here. Squid coming up on 70% Uber. Will they elect to throw a sack wave, trying to get the Uber force out of Bradisparky, or are they just going to wait? They have, you know, 45 extra seconds to burn before things even out, and that looks like exactly that's what they're going to do. They're waiting on this Uber now, electing to push through the left side or house, question mark, and they're slowly waddling their way. Joey Lemons is going to actually rotate to right lane. Never mind, and he's jumping back to the left. These guys are playing Ring Around the Rosie with the casters. But finally, the blue aggression through the... Oh, very aggressive red Uber. And again, Squid with a little bit of a better milk. So will they get a better post-Uber situation? Squid is just standing on the point with his demo man. Fancy Sun trying to rotate up to height. No one play. Look at the health on blue. It's actually
JPEG
so
hitting
bad.
meat though. Oh, JPEG just shredded that scout and did so much damage to Loaf and Slicer. JPEG, the hero of that post-Uber. But XPS and Riot are going to go down.
Yeah.
So some damage, some counter aggression coming back in. It's going to be a 5v4 on the point, and Slicer's going to bomb in, get PKG. Scream's going to go down as well. And I was going to say, that looked like an okay scenario after JPEG kind of salvaged that with some damage, but when you hold the point on Koth, you never want to be the one popping first. You want to use your defender's advantage to get that better Uber and be able to help you know, your positioning and just play that natural defender's advantage that you have with, like, you know, positioning, high ground, and everything. You want to use that to get a better Uber, but TDI ran into them and gave that up. So we're going to see about even times here, but 7Gull slowly taking ahead here as they, you know, hold the point currently. PKG getting a ton of spam damage. Gonna pop in here are TDI. Gonna try and push up that tiny Uber, but Squid's gonna get his Uber. Gonna have a much better one at that. See if they can find anything. XPS is so weak on the point, surfing like a mad. He doesn't die. XPS lived on 7 HP. He's gonna get the little... They gave an opportunity to fight this 6v6, but they're so weak. And Slicer with the fat bomb claims 2. They need to reset here and go last. This is last fight territory for TDI, where they might go down 2-0. I don't even know if there's going to be enough
time. Yeah, like, Scream's still up for another 5. There's only 8 seconds left on the clock. No team's going to have Uber. But Blue are just posted up, waiting for this red aggression to come in. Loaf is just spamming rockets from the high ground. There is still a little bit of cap time, so that's a saving grace. Although JPEG and Ryan dying. Oh, that's not good for TDI's chances here. It's actually a 3v3 though, so, you know, next fight could decide it here. XPS is going to go down. It's just a scout versus a soldier, and Scream is gonna win it. The good news for Blue, though, Squid, he slithered away, he swam away, as a Squid often does, and he will at least get Uber here. A minute and counting remaining for TDI here. That was a crazy fight. I thought the early soldier picks from 7 Gull was going to seal it, but, you know, Red made it a fight, and they came out on top at the very end there with the 1v1, so...
Yeah. And Red's going to lose their Uber advantage. They are going to get a better pop here this time, as 7 Gull's going to be popping in, trying to find some space. Loaf is down so weak and had to get some health packs here at the start of this post-Uber. They really need to win this fight. They're trying to edge the point on the side of 7 Gull. They're getting cap time. They need to get aggressive. They need to find picks, but Riot's going to be the first to die. That's huge. They have no opportunity to control the point anymore. They have no stickies. XPS died. Joey Lemon's getting kills, but Scream gets 2, but no, they get off the point!
Oh, man. How many times have we said Joey Lemons' name throughout this first half? He has just been absolutely
juicing the other team,
destroying them. I need to look at these logs. I'm going to guess like 450 DPM. And I'm about to load it up here. Let's see what we got. Clear cut half number 1 in the book. 7 Gull 2 rounds away from knocking out Total Drama Island. And I was almost on it. 458. He went 14-2, Nick. He died 2 times. Oh my word, he is just destroying the other team right now. He's top frag, top damage,
he's tied for bottom death. That's beast. Doesn't get much better than that.
No air shots though, but still, he is just this is the man of the half right now. Joey Lemons, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we like air shots don't win you games. But you know, absolutely pounding the other team, going 14-2, doing 458 DPM. That probably does win you game.
Yeah, and man, again, and TLR playing very, very well as well. 12-4, about 300 DPM, just a couple ticks under that benchmark. The rest of the scouts, JPEG's also doing very well. We've seen him hit some dirty 2 shots on soldiers and scouts alike. He's also 10-4, 257 DPM. I mean,
PKG and Riot are finding a fair amount of damage as well. I mean, they're both at, you know, just shy. I mean, they did the exact same amount of damage, both at a big 359, but it's just not enough. I mean, Joey Lemons and TLR kind of just seem to be running the show, and then, you know, Slicesword kind of throwing his weight around, you know, just jumping in, doing damage to things, and then Joey Lemons and TLR are there to follow it up. Yeah, and to look at the medics, I mean, Bradisparky did a good job of living.
Yes. I feel like this is a great example. This is the great example of how like stats, especially on medic, don't tell the story, right? Because like you see Bradisparky only dying 1 less time, and you're like, oh, that's really, really good. Especially when one of his deaths was a drop. So you know, if he didn't drop that, the deaths would be 2-2, and then the Ubers would be 10-9, and you're thinking, oh, that should be a really, really close game. But when you look at the scoreboard, it's 2-0 for 7 Gull, and that is, you know, coming down to the team play. Obviously, Joey Lemon's ridiculous damage output has something to do with that. This man might reach 10k by the end of the night, and he's well on pace for that. But you know, I feel like what we saw a lot during that first half, Nick, was a fight would start to break out, and then all of a sudden Slice Rogue and Loaf would open things up with a pick or two, and that would just swing like all the advantages into 7 Gull's favor. And they didn't really lose many other fights once their soldiers got the opening picks for them. So we'll see if TDI can step it up and claw their way back in it, because again, like we said, this is map number 2, and we are gonna go live here. So I know who I'm watching on this first mid. Mr. Lemons here. He's gonna put in some more work.
I think I'm gonna TDI. Yeah, I want to say, hoping for a TDI comeback, because I would like to see Process, but you know. Given the way things are going, it's not looking great for them. See if they can make the adjustments here in the second half. They have both their soldiers on their shed looking for spam. But it looks like Joey Lemons is finding way too much damage, counter spamming them. Joey Lemons, though, going to eat his own damage. Going to have to back up. Both teams getting killed, but PKG died. And Loaf again. Drumming their exits, and Bradisparky's going down. And based on the way that things are going, it's looking like the tilt set again for TDI. They just didn't really seem to do anything that mid. And look at that. Look at how late Scream is to go in. Like, Scream and JPEG went in completely uncoordinated. You know, they didn't go at the same time.
It's all about that mentality.
It's looking rough.
Yeah, TDI are going to have to dig deep here if they're looking for a chance to claw their way back in. As we see the Shackhold starting to come out for Seven Gull. How will TDI, try and break this? Right now, they're actually just going to wait. I'm not sure I agree with this because, Blue is just ticking time right off the clock when you could be running a sack wave. Okay, finally looks like they're setting up for it. Here goes the Riot Bomb through the house. He's going to land right in front of the point, and they're just going to lose 2, make it 3.
Oh, JPEG, though.
Well, JPEG got a couple picks.
Fancy's pocket.
Yeah, that's the saving grace of the Shackhold, is that you're isolating your players that are away from Shack. So even if you don't get the force, you get a couple picks. And look at this, 6v4. Though the 7 goal respawners are right back in it. Assuming Red can go fast here, Blue will be at a player disadvantage as we see the Soldier bomb up top. Well, he's gonna get contested. XBS pushing Loaf off of high ground, and now they're just putting a chunk of cap time on. I like this. TLR taking his Uber. He's gonna deny it for now. The Red counter Uber out from Sparky, and well, hard to see who's gonna win this post. TLR is just hunting for frags. He sees Red really passive.
But Sparky Loaf on the play.
Again, man, these 7 Gull soldiers are just doing a ton of work for their team, and now the Red aggression is being stifled by all the projectile classes, and now it's just XPS. He is going to turn around and run all the way back to spawn. It's looking grim right now. I tell you what, it's not match point, but we're heading there really soon.
Yeah, I say, and they've had exactly 2 team fights, and 2 minutes have been burned off the clock. And I was gonna say they needed to go fast after they had those 2 picks from their sack. PKG's gonna need to pipe. Oh, Joey Lemons.
He piped him before he jumped, dude. He's a mad lad, and he's just continuing to dump damage out onto the field. The scouts once again trying to put cap time out for Total Drama Island, but here comes this blue Uber. If they're not careful, Red could get wiped here. And here comes the TLR Uber. They're gonna get Riot. They're gonna get XPS.
He doesn't miss those.
He's looking for the Soldier. He's trying to get 4 here, although the Scout and Soldier have managed to stuff him. No way. No way.
No way.
It doesn't look like he's going to get the medic.
Oh! He got a second chance at Sparky there, but PKG is going to hit the rocket, hits the splash to clean him up. Scream on the other side of things was on Squid there, tying up the other team, but again, this just favors 7 goal. Like, they're just getting so much time on the point. Sparky going to have to finally use. And they are going to get on the point finally, but it doesn't even look like they're going to need frags. They might get Joey Lemon. There we go.
Yeah, but
Joey
I mean,
Lemons.
Yeah, if you're on 7 goal side, you're like, this is fantastic. We'll gladly give up the point. You gave us 1 second left. In fact, 1 second left is probably better, because now you can just waltz right on it, and there won't be enough. I think if you're standing on the point, they won't be able to put any sliver of cap time on it. I could be wrong there, but as we see the blue Uber coming up, Fancy Sun down to 7 HP before that arrow. So this is they're looking to put the final touches on this 3rd round here. Oh, the Joey Lemon's taking a ton of spam up on bats. Interesting decision to push from this door, and Joey Lemons is just in. He has only got 77 HP, but okay, XPS gets the force. But remember, if
they
Blue
have
just
1 second to work, but they need to get back on the point.
1 second.
Riot's jumping in, but he's not going to be there in time. Oh, Riot gets on the point, but he dies instantly.
Okay, this is what we call Door Me here for 7 Gull. They are 1 round away from putting the final touches on this best of 3, knocking Total Drama Island out. Again, the 6th seed on the verge of, quote, upsetting, unquote, the 3rd seed. Once again, the records were only a win-loss difference of 1, excuse me, as we see
PKG in early.
They tried to get on Joey Lemons, but he's just too good. He's just stifling their aggression, and then Slice Rogue with the bomb right onto the point, picks up Sparky. He's going to get Riot as well. Scream is the only survivor. TLR cleans him up. Good news, Squid did die, so TDI can look to take a no Uber versus no Uber fight here, as, again, I think this is the 4th straight mid-win for 7 Gull, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, no, because they won the first mid in the very first round, did TDI. It was very, very long.
Oh, okay.
But they did win, so. The 3rd mid win, but, essentially a mid win, and they just basically denied the cap. PKG's gonna go down. They find a bunch of damage in the Slice Rogue house. They trade it down. JPEG goes down again. They're just not able to find any opportunities on the point.
And now Scream has been shut down on the right side by the scouts. And I mean, red is in a really awkward spot. Their health is so bad. There we go. Again, the blue soldiers, they're going to pick off XBS, and then Fancy Sun's going to sneak in for the kill onto Riot. TLR is wreaking havoc behind, well, actually, he's not really behind. Then, you know, Fancy Sun with a domination kill onto Scream. Once again, a minute has been chipped off of the clock, and Seven Gull are looking really solid right now on their map pick.
Yeah, and I think it's very obvious why they picked this map. They are looking very dominant.
Okay. Oh!
Oh, and Brad Sparky
a
drops
drop.
again. That's not what you want to see. Again, it's so hard to say that TDI is still in this game. Like, based on the way that they're playing, it doesn't really look like the team is calming much. It's very easy to tell that they're on tilt right now. I want to say this map is virtually all but over but the formality. PKG's going to bomb in. It's a nice couple rockets on the low.
Oh, hold on now. We got a 2v2 here. Uh-oh. Scream is dead. He's in the space program. And, well... more than halfway through there. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining for Seven Gull to put Total Drama Island away and send them off the island. What can Red Side do? Well, they're just going to try and waltz right back on the point here. And they do get the pick onto TLR. So that's a good start. And now they make it double for Loaf. So a 6v4 situation here. As long as Fancy Sun doesn't get picked off. The blue soldier bombing in. Very delayed. Slice Road goes down.
Oh, Joey Lemon!
Oh, Joey Lemons tried, but JPEG shut him down. So here we go. A nice little start. It could be the start of something here for TDI. Both medics are on even Ubers, however, so they do need to win one of these post-Uber engagements in order to climb back in.
They're so inclined to pop first. Fancy Sun finds a sticky trap there. You know, I was able to live fortunate enough for him. Again, he did find the sticky trap. Scream is down so weak and have to get a pack out behind, but they really just need to play their defender's advantage. I think TDI is really just lacking their playing positioning. They're going to get the pick on the Loaf and Joey Lemons. It looked like it's just a 4-man, though. And they get exactly what they want. They get the pop.
Yeah, I was going to say,
rough.
Red, I feel like I understand why they had to do their like pseudo forward hold there, because, you know, they are behind in time, but when blue just throws all their projectiles at you, you're in a really tough spot as a medic. You kind of have to pop there, because you certainly don't want to have your second straight Uber charge drop of this round. But now, I mean, all eyes are going to be on TLR and Joey Lemons here. Where are they going to go? It looks like they are working their way through the right lane, shifting over towards the shack. So a straight onto the point Uber. I'm watching TLR. Here we go. The Uber gets popped. He's going to put a ton of damage into the scout. He's actually going to divert to the demo now, and he should get cleaned up thanks to Joey Lemon's pipe. And instead, they're just going to say, okay, we'll take what we can get. We got the demo, and now we're just going to cap up the point. Loaf is going to go down, so if they cap it here, they will delay his spawn by another 5 seconds. But as the announcer lady so kindly reminds us, 60 seconds left for Seven Gull. Match point here. But now Brad Sparky has full Uber, and they're waiting for Riot to get here before they walk back in. Looks like they're going to go through house. So
they're going to pop it through. Riot's going to be going in deep. They're able to catch him. They are able to catch him. They're going to find Slaysword and Joey Lemons. They're going to ask Scout here as well. But the Scout's able to get Riot with the help of the spam from Low. Oh, no.
Oh, and I was about to say, I don't agree if they cap here. They made sure Riot got the spawn first, and now they've capped it up. They are looking a lot better this round. Though. Yeah, although, like you said, Squid did stay alive, so this is advantage. And if I feel like if Seven Gull wins this next Uber, that's just gonna be all she wrote. So once again, Fancy Sun's gonna kind of feed a little bit early. And well, the blue players have walked up on the left side. TLR takes his Uber.
HP. He almost killed himself with a jump, but they are gonna get Riot and PKG with this Uber. That's not what you want to see. They need to just leave. They need to reset right now. They have 22 seconds. That's enough time to like reset and get a team fight. They're 90% here. They need to get this Uber. Looks like they're going to be able to get it. 95 here. They're walking on the point with this Uber. As it looks like Slicer's going to bomb in, get the force, so they get a free pick for the Uber force. But they just need to cap now, and they need to hold on to it for the next 50 seconds. They cannot give this up. Brad Sparky down so weak.
Scream almost got the amazing air shot, but he will get the kill anyway. And as the dust settles, it's a 5v4 situation. TDI will cap up, and they're 40 seconds away from being on the board here. Although, it's got to be said, Squid continuing to stay alive. He's already at 75%, so by the time he gets Uber, there's going to be about like 20 seconds left on the clock here. So it all comes down to this if you're on Total Drama Island side. Yep.
Yeah,
If you
tournament
lose
life
this
on the
fight,
line here for TDI in the culmination of the season. See if they can kite this Uber. Oh, Uber's popped in. Joey Lemons is in. Gonna find some damage into Brad Sparky. They're getting capped on the point. Both their soldiers go down. This is not looking good. They need to pull something out of the hat right now. They're 85%. They can get this Uber. Brad Sparky goes down. They're gonna need a miracle here. It's just XPS on the point and 7-goal cap, and that's it for TDI's season. Again, another upset we see here in the main playoffs. The pandemonium, the chaos continues as the seventh seed, yeah.
Sixth seed.
Of 7-goal. 6th seed?
Yes.
But TDI
7-goal was the 6th seed, and Total Drama Island was the 3rd seed.
I see.
So, I mean, Maine will leave no survivors. Oh, they'll leave one survivor. But, man, what a series. I feel like 7-goal, they just came to play. I mean, Joey Lemons came to play. This dude probably, I'm sure he got his 10k damage with all the stats compiled at the end here. Logs are being combined in just a moment, but whew, 7-goal, they showed up in a big way, and they have now booked their ticket to Final Four. They're actually going to be going up against Goobies in the next round of main playoffs. So that's going to be another exciting one to watch. Keep that on your, keep that marked on your calendar whenever we get around to it. But man,
So yeah, I'm gonna break down the logs, but I mean, it was like I said, like kind of going into that 4th round, like they were able to kind of make it close at a couple points, but I mean, it was kind of like obvious to tell, like especially going into that 4th round at a couple points, that like TDI was definitely on tilt, or people weren't talking. There was definitely something up, right? And it was kind of obvious that that game was over in the last couple of minutes before it was really over.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So
Like, I can do it. Hello, everybody.
But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to break down. I mean, 5-1, there was like, a lot of back and forth on Sunshine, right? And I think, there was some things to say about that, but Clearcut was kind of a beatdown. They had a couple close rounds and they had some good moments, but it really wasn't all together there for TDI. They were definitely missing like a couple of key pieces. I mean, Riot did good on the eye test, but I think he was just outdone by Joey Lemons. I mean, Joey Lemons went 22-9 with 392 DPM. That's hard to stop. Like when you're top fragging in the server as demo and you're top damaging by 70 plus DPM, that just means you're pounding.
Yeah, I was going to say Sunshine, the 5-1 scoreline of Sunshine was a little bit misleading because it was a lot of back and forth last to last type situation. But man, on a map like Koth where the score actually can be misleading a lot of the times, it really wasn't this time around. Like there was one round where Total Drama Island had 8 seconds left on the clock or whatever it was during that very last one, but all the other ones, I mean, 7-goal just, for the lack of a better word, dismantled them in no small part thanks to Joey Lemon's insane damage output. So man, what a series! What a series!
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's like lots of good takeaways for both these teams. I mean, 7-goal, we'll see them continue their tournament life. Like you said, they'll be playing against the Goobies. I don't know when they'll be playing that match. To wait for the team to schedule. I imagine it'll happen sometime in the next week or so. But for TDI, they have to go back to the drawing board. Their season is over. I mean, they did seed 3rd. Like that's nothing to scoff at. And a lot of these people, honestly, are relatively new to the scene. So I mean, it'll be good to see if they continue to grow, especially if they keep like a core players together, especially if you keep like an experienced like XPS on your team. There's definitely a lot for them to learn still. But getting 3rd in the regular season, making it to playoffs is no small feat in itself. So I think they should be proud of themselves. I mean, it does suck to lose playoffs. I mean, whatever I say, I mean, they're just gonna blow it off like whatever. Yeah, we lost, but there's definitely good takeaways, and kind of take it back to the drawing board and go next season. Next season, boys.
I think it's really important. I mean, with the advent of Advanced coming back, so only being one div between Invite and Main coming in for RGL Season 5, like teams that stick together, you're going to be rewarded for that. I mean, again, like I said before this broadcast, or like at the start, 7-goal literally played an IM last season, and now they're a top 4 in Main. So like that just goes to show, and there have been plenty of other examples too. Milky's HR team, all these teams that have been playing, consecutive seasons together with the same core of players, grinding, improving, practicing, demo reviewing, and the results are being shown here. Like if we can keep a lot of these teams together, we can have a really, really healthy advanced div. Hopefully, more than 6 invite teams. That's another bridge that we will eventually cross. Hopefully.
Yeah, I have no idea who would ever be invite capable and not play.
No,
Could not be
not.
me.
No idea. Never met a single one of them. But
No,
I mean,
no idea about.
that's pretty much gonna be all she wrote from here. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, you just watched Seven Gull defeat Total Drama Island 2-0. The score was 5-1 on CP Sunshine, and then 4-0 on King of the Hill Clear Cut. My name was Terry. I was joined by Frick My Nick, with our wonderful producer Mitch, and a guest appearance from Tony B hopping in for a quick second. But that's pretty much gonna be all from us. It is almost 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I bid everybody farewell and good night.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody.